Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
In this
Solar
video, I'll be
HQ
talking a
on
little
his
bit about
final
the Spider-Man
Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions
2099
video.
universe, the characters, and in relation to the game. I'll also be talking about how I feel the game has displayed them and how it works within the game. Obviously, as you can see, the major bad guy for this level is the Hobgoblin. The Hobgoblin in 2099, obviously, is his incarnation. Let's talk about a little bit about the 2099 universe. It was originally created in 1990. Give me a second. In 1992, based approximately like 100 years after the original events. It was made by artist Rick Leonardi and Peter David, who is the writer. It basically obviously broke away from original continuity and made a new one. And our Spider-Man hero is not Peter Parker. I think we should mention that. His name is Miguel O'Hara, and he's like a genius like Spider-Man is. He's gifted with like a geneticist, and yeah, he's just a clever guy in general, much like Spidey. And the way Miguel O'Hara gets his powers in 2099 is different to how Spider-Man got them in. You know, they're always a bit different in the universe. Like in this one, half of his genetic code actually gets rewritten with the genetic code of a spider, rather than a radioactive bite or anything like that. So Miguel is different to Spidey in a number of ways. His voice actor in Shattered Dimensions is the individual who did the 1980s Spider-Man and Their Amazing Friends, I think it's called. That was the series he worked on. Oh, his name eludes me. If you give me a second, I'll find out for you. His name is... Where is it? This is... There we are. It's Dan Glivzan. That's how you pronounce it. I think so. So he's voicing Spider-Man in this game. Voice acting again is pretty top notch. Pretty far superior to anything else that they've done in any Spider-Man game, really. I mean, not to say Ultimate Spider-Man, or the original Spider-Man games for the PS1 were bad, but the writing in this Spider-Man game and the voice acting, you know, you've got Neil Patrick Harris, you've got Spider-Man all over the place, you've got Josh Keaton, who did the Spectacular Spider-Man, you've got Christopher Daniel Barnes, who did the Spider-Man cartoon series in the 1990s, which was absolutely amazing. You know, you've got this amazing cast. And then you look at the villains in this game. You know, you've got Steve Blum, who's voicing the Hobgoblin, the Vulture, and Jim Cummings, who's doing Kraven, and Boomerang. You know, they've Steve Blum and Cummings have also done previous villains in like other Spider-Man animated series. Obviously, Stan Lee's voice is the narrator, and he hasn't done that in not a long time, but he hasn't done it in a while, and that's always nice to see. So voice acting again is absolutely top notch. As you can see in the gameplay, what separates 2099 Spider-Man from other Spider-Man is the sense of verticality in his levels. Like, you've seen the dive sequences, and you also, I was just jumping as high as I could on that level, and it was really high. And you know, you eventually get enemies that'll follow you up there. So that's good. Let's talk a little bit about Miguel O'Hara's powers in Spider-Man 2099. Similar to Spider-Man in some regards, but there are some differences. Although he gets Spider Sense in this game, he doesn't have Spider Sense in the comics. Instead of that, he gets this accelerated vision and hearing, which you will see in the video. Pretty much when time starts to slow down, going woo, that means he's got his accelerated vision on. You know, sort of like the ultimate Spider-Man's rage mode. You know, he has a special mode you can trigger into. The Amazing Noir can actually do. Also, he has one particular power that is interesting. He has a bite. He can bite people like a stinger, and it's really poisonous. I don't think you get that in the game either, unless it's like at the end levels, which I haven't seen. But yeah, that's really that's the main differences. Apart from the fact that he's got he's got half the genetic code of a spider, like he's got kind of like talons on the end of his fingers. I don't understand why they're talons, but you know what I mean. Like sort of like claws that he can scratch people, and you know with his Spider-Man strength, he can rend steel and stuff like that. It's very very interesting, and that's how his combat goes. Also, whereas most Spider-Man can stick any parts of their body to any ceiling, any ceiling, any surface, he can only really attach his hands and legs. So, you know, obviously gameplay-wise, they're not going to make those distinctions, so you don't see them in the game. I really think they realise the world of 2099 in the game. They do it really well. Bright lights, the hover cars, like I said, the sense of height in the game is really apparent, like it is in the cartoons. And you know, the villains are fitting well. Hobgoblin fits well. Other villains, I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's other villains obviously in later levels in the game where you take them on and they're all from the universe as well, and they look good. I don't think any of them have been put in that weren't already in the universe for this one, unlike Hammerhead in Spider-Man Noir. So you know, that's good. It's good that they stick to the sort of source material quite closely. I was looking actually because I didn't know too much about 2099, but I was looking at the sale figures for them, and they were every issue was like selling 100,000. Now, I don't know if that's a bad mark or a good mark, but I think 100,000 that's a lot of units. So it wasn't like selling that badly. Maybe it had a bit more than just a cult following, like I described it earlier. So yeah, overall, fully realized universe. The combat, like I said, it grows on you. The one good thing about doing all these videos, I suppose, is the fact that initially I didn't like the combat at all. I thought it was a bit shit, for lack of a better word. But it grows on you. It gets better as time goes by as you unlock more, I guess. It doesn't feel as fluid as it could be, but I think there are worse combat systems out there to use. Case in point, Spider-Man 3, the movie. There's the same problems in every level. It's too linear. I can't, there is a bit of exploring to be had, but it's very linear, this game. You're getting like not a Call of Duty experience, but you know what I mean. You just keep going forward. Unless you're like me and you forget to save the civilians. But no, I mean, look at the thing. What else could we talk about? We could talk about maybe the history of 2099. Like, I know it was supposed to be a short-term thing, but it lasted far longer than Marvel actually wanted it to. Because they eventually like moved the writers away from the project and the artist. It was actually towards the end they had different people doing it, and it kind of dropped off in the sales, and then they did like a final piece to like kind of wrap it up to end like regular publication. But, I mean, he's been featured in other things as well. He was featured in a special where him and Spider-Man from Amazing Spider-Man meet up, and that was I actually read that. That was quite interesting to read, because like spoiler alert at the end of that issue, um, Spider-Man from I think it's 2500 shows up, or something like that, and he's got like 6 arms and he's quite beefy, and then they do the whole say one-liners and then go their separate ways kind of deal. Um, good read. It was alright. The one thing I really enjoyed about doing these Spider-Man for every a different video for every Spider-Man is I've always done a little bit of reading before I've done the video, and like I read all that noir stuff from the previous video, and that was great to read. I only read a little bit of this for the 2099 because I really felt like we needed to wrap this up. And it's nice to have to read something I wouldn't necessarily read and just enjoy it for what it is. Again, the sense of the height in this game. I really do like these diving sequences. It's just I wish they gave you more moves to do rather than jump on the Hobgoblin's back and punch him. Like, I don't know, attach him to a wall so he flies into a wall, or when you're doing this, guide him into like oncoming traffic or something, so he gets lots of damage. Because apparently the Hobgoblin was wearing some really protective armor in the game. So like he can suffer these dives and these falls and not feel a thing. Apparently he was created by someone as well. Not to spoil too much of the plot for Shattered Dimensions for you. But yeah, that's more or less that segment. We've done talking about like gameplay. We've pretty much covered that. We haven't covered the music for the game in any of the videos, so we could spend a couple of minutes doing that. Different music, obviously, for every different universe. Noir's got this dark kind of feel, while Amazing Spider-Man, he'll punch him like bang, 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 and it'll definitely feel more cartoony. And you get this like kind of sci-fi theme for 2099, which is really nice. So the music's passable. On a side note, that was what Accelerated Vision looked like. The music's passable. It's not great. It doesn't do anything for the game, to be honest. But then again, how much can you really make music do for the game apart from set the ambience? Talks about voice acting. The voice acting again being top notch. Use of license, good. Yeah, so that pretty much covers most of it. I guess I'll spend these last 3 or 4 minutes just talking about maybe what I'll do next. Thinking about maybe diversifying a bit, maybe trying to cover some newer stuff, like maybe the Dawn Guard stuff for Skyrim, or the what's it, Smite? If I can get beta access, I'll cover some Smite. Or maybe I'll just do more comic book hero based stuff, like videos. One thing I don't think I would do this kind of format again. I don't think I would do, like, if there's multiple characters, do a video for each character, just because it takes too long, and like it's not a whole. Even though there were supposed to be massive gameplay differences, it wasn't all that much. Excuse the frame rate dropping, by the way. I had some technical issues I had to deal with. My friends would be laughing at me if I said that. There's a bit of a in joke around where I live about technical difficulties. But yeah, I don't think I'd do this kind of format anymore. I think just the one video, maybe, just maybe just a review kind of thing, or maybe just an impressions video. I'd just maybe give it some kind of catchy name like Salted Plays or Salted Thoughts, something like that, something a bit tongue-in-cheeky like that. But that's the kind of format I think I'm going to go with. Also, Noir Video was my first attempt at doing live action narration. I found that really difficult to do. I may do it again in the future, but I'm not completely sure. I think I might just do what I'm doing now and make the video footage and then narrate, because I'm a bit more proficient in just talking to you guys about anything and everything. I really found it a struggle to just talk and play at the same time, and like I played ridiculously badly as well. But yeah, I think that pretty much more or less covers everything major I wanted to say. Comment, why don't you guys comment on what I'm gonna do. What do you think I should do? So, I need some constructive criticism and whatnot. I'm still very new at this whole YouTubing thing. I know I'm still having problems with the sound. I'm trying to sort that out. But I think it's more to do with the fact that I've got a really cheap mic, and I don't really have the cash right now to get myself a new one. So I'm gonna just keep doing these videos, and hopefully, maybe I'll be able to get one soon. And just improve that quality, because the video quality is fine, at least for now, until like I start playing something that really really demands a lot from my PC. Because at the minute this isn't demanding too much, and the only frame rate issues I've had is when I've run out of memory to record. I've had to sort that out. Okay, so that's enough of me babbling and just chatting. I hope you enjoyed my Spider-Man videos. Subscribe, comment, the drill. Catch you all later, guys, and see you next time. Till then, goodbye for now.